Time on, please.
Here we go then, the burgeoning boys of Bath, savouring their opportunity for Saracens' one last stand to reach the all-important playoffs.
Knock on, then knock on. Scrum. 2 knock-ons.
And straight from the restart, we'll have a look at this young Bath pack. Chris Ashton, scrums weren't necessarily your forte, not to do you a disservice. How important is this area of the game for this Bath crop?
You've got to get understanding quickly, especially with the referees. You've got to learn quickly, and on the job, Saracens going to obviously try and take advantage of that early doors. I do think they'll play away from this quickly. As we've seen, Willis all season has made so many metres from the back of these situations. He's so strong. It's not a bad start there for Jamie. The young Bath forwards.
Some brilliant individual stories among these young Bath players, so you might not be too familiar with. We're going to show you a close-up of big Scott Kirk. There he is, born in London to South African parents, moved with them to Bermuda aged 3, then the British Virgin Isles, actually left home at 12 to go to Michael's House boarding school in South Africa. He only got to see his parents 3 times a year. That was the dedication, the character, the hunger he showed to pursue his rugby dream. Came over during the COVID pandemic on a trial at Bath, having been spotted playing age grade rugby in South Africa, and won himself a contract. Marco Riccioni, not long back from injury. Big Italian tight head, playing opposite Kirk today. We'll see a lot of this from Saracens today. No team in the Premiership kicks more, no player box kicks more than Ivan Fonsale. And Sarri snaffle it back in the air. Riccioni sending it wide. Daly, that cultured left boot, chasing McConaughey back, looking for the 50-22, but it bounces just short of the white paint.
Yeah, so unlucky. That's the skill that Elliot Daly has, and that's why he's going to be a third-toured Lion.
Just use the edge.
Just awareness of no matter what position he's in, chooses the right option. You know, I think you did say there, Jamie, about Saracens kicking a lot, but Bath have definitely run them close this year. It's been a big game plan of those, and a lot of their success is coming off it. The wingers getting up and competing, winning ball back, winning field position. That's what it's based around. Like I say, I don't think we'll see a lot of that early on in this game, because both teams will want to try and feel their way into it.
4-man line-out, which Ewan Richards calls to himself. Scrader pulling it back. Foray for Arthur Green, who was so impressive on his first Premiership outing just a few weeks ago down in Devon. Scrader sends it high. Elliott and McConaughey. McConaughey plucks it from the skies, and there was a little knock-on from the younger winger.
And the risk sometimes from Saracens' perspective is you don't know who a lot of these players are, so you don't really know what to expect. They would have tried the best in a couple of days to get footage and some information together on how the players play, but that's so hard to do. You're kind of learning on the cuff here and that can play into Bath's hands. We could see a couple of players here come out of this in a good light, shining light from these kind of games. Let's hope that's the case, because that's what these. When you get your opportunity, you want to hope you take it.
First attacking platform for the Premiership leaders. Scrader, the veteran, and Bailey throwing the dummy, hurdling past one.
Off his feet first, stop the 9 passing the ball, then 9 comes in and counter-rucks. 12 off his feet first. 12 off feet first.
Got away with that one there, I think. Bath, they had no one at the breakdown. Nick Tompkins just couldn't find the ball, find his feet quick enough. Orlando Bailey is one of the experienced men in this team. He needs to lead the younger players around. Here's the breakdown. Just a little bit slow to get in. Oh, McConaughey's in on the side, that is for sure. And that one's been missed. And that actually is the impact that gets Nick onto the floor. So it should have, in fact, been a penalty the other way around.
Scrader gets scragged high from Tom Willis. So freebie for Bath here. What are the Tyros got up their sleeves? Richards, good yardage made. Taken on by Jeans, the young lock forward. Scrowder and Kirk on his Prem debut. A metre short. What a start this would be for Bath. Green around the corner, burrowing towards the line. Archie Griffin, the Wales international, waits. Griffin nosedives. Sarries stop him. Richards has a dig, can't reach that right arm out. Green has a shot, try given. And the young pups of Bath are thriving in the StoneX Shark Tank. This place falls into stony silence. And the kids on their travels have laid down one heck of a marker.
What a start for Bath that is. It's just so quick ball. They can't look too high there from Jamie George. Allows them to get momentum, and again too high. No one's going low, taking the legs. They just keep going. Young Bath forwards. Nice, great work coming from all directions. Just close, tight-knit unit. They didn't have to work too hard to be honest, to get through in the end. Saracens wake-up call, but Bath have done everything necessary. What a start for them.
Bailey stabs through the kick. Saracens 0, Bath 7.
Come on, Sarries!
Such a lively start. Even at the scrum, Bath looked strong. It just... maybe that's the wake-up call Saracens did. There's been a lot going on here. There's a lot of atmosphere. A big build-up to the game.
Oh, Theo McFarlane, that's what he does. But Parry is first to react, and he's on his bike, burning past Good. Shegan has the pace to cover. Gets away from a couple. Eventually Bath scrag him. Tompkins looking for support. Doesn't need it. Off he goes. Hurdling tackles. Big Reese carries on the rampage. McConaughey hunts him down. It's like a buffalo trying to stop him. Quick ball for Saracens. Sonyama Christie. Daly. Bath concede the penalty advantage.
Yes.
Willis picks it up. Swatting players aside.
Offside again, 8, making the tackle. Just this side of the 10, Scott.
4 here.
Good sir.
Great break from Nick Tompkins. That's what Saracens need. Just, you can't wait for this game sometimes. You've got to take it to the opposition. You can't expect the game plan to go all the way. Nick calls for the pass.
4.
Saracens going for touch. Right decision, being 7-0 down already. That's a good kick. Great kick. But this is the break here from Tompkins. Just wants the pass, sees the prop forward, up the middle. And here we go, nothing better than seeing a prop forward. I can't figure out who was looking for contact, him or McConaughey. I reckon he could have gone all the way though, Jenny.
Itoje wins. Saracens set their drive. Jamie George at the back, Nick Tompkins as well. The names of these great Saracens tripping off the tongue. George breaks and drives. A phalanx of forwards behind him. Around the corner comes Itoje. Tom Willis, Saracens' most prolific carriers. One of the most prolific carriers anywhere in Europe this season. Fonsale to George. Big shot on the gain line. Fonsale sending it wide. Daly, Burke on the run around. Shegan coasts in. 3 minutes after falling behind, Saracens rouse themselves from their early stupor.
It didn't take too long to respond from Saracens. It's a great kick from Fergus Burke into the corner, putting them 5 metres out. And Willis with a carry, but it's this find of hands from Daly to Good. You see the set-up so many times where players on that Good line, they just take contact, but he's got the softness of hands to find Burke out the back again. It looks so easy, but I can't tell you how difficult that is. Everyone's timing on the money, and it's a walk-in. Really nice attack from Saracens.
Fergus Burke's kick shaves the post. Saracens trail by 2.
See Marco Riccioni go off here too after that maul. Struggled this year with injuries. Hopefully it's not too bad. He's running inside, so it might be an HIA, but he's a man they want to stay out there.
Yeah, Harvey Beaton has come on to replace Marco Riccioni, at least for the time being, while the Italian goes to get checked out. Keeping you up to date as best we can with all the scores around the grounds. Kingsholm, game of consequence for this one, 7 points apiece between Gloucester and Northampton. Sale leading Exeter down in Devon by 3 points to nil, a George Ford penalty. Scoreless between Leicester and Newcastle. Bristol 14-0 up at home to Harlequins and looking very good, holding up their end of the playoff bargain. Meanwhile, Bath looking very good value for their early lead here.
It's great work off the kickoff. Orlando Berry's kicks are on the money. 10 metres, but high into the remaining sun, I think, too. I think Saracens will be too happy with the setup because Mara's not getting high enough on his jump to get a clean catch. So Bath are making a mess of it. Getting a turnover off the back of it. It's a lovely kick from that man. It's a skill that's underrated, you know, the kickoff. Sometimes teams just want to go long and get rid of it, but got to try and win the ball back as soon as you can.
What are you seeing here, Ashley?
That's a great chance to go wide. So the unfortunate thing is the scrum half gets off the scrum and gives you a man extra in defence, if you like. So it's more of a second, third phase play set up unless you get turned over.
Yeah, Lou Hennessy just isolated there, and Elliott, who had pause to it, flings it away. It's gone backwards, so Manu Itoje lumbering through the middle. He can't get to grips with young Jack Woods, his first touch as a Premiership player. And it is belatedly, with little help from TMO Matthew Carley, ruled as a Saracens knock-on.
Yeah, the scrum before is a little bit harder to play off because you've got, defensively, they've got the advantage. That's a great turnover from Tompkins. This is one of his specialities, he's getting over the ball as a 12. Having someone in the back line who is so eager and so good over the ball can only be an advantage. Liking his new haircut. I think he's half committed to shaving his head there. Not a full commitment.
It's his summer plumage, Nick Tompkins.
He won't like me talking about his haircut. But this scrum here is a much better opportunity for Bath than the previous one. You can go either side, swing either side. Looks like they're going to come left.
Screder whipping it away to Bailey. Bit of space for Bath to manoeuvre. Big Louis Hennessy just lost his footing. Tompkins wraps him up, marches him back. Bath, albeit with a very different team to this one, top Premiership try and point scorers by a distance. 93 tries in the league this year. They won't get one here though.
Pulled over. Ridgely on his feet, then pulled over.
Well, it came to nothing really for Bath. First phase attack was just a tad disappointing too. Just a flat ball. You can't just throw a flat pass against a defender like Elliot Daly at 13. He's going to read it all day, as he did. And then you've got no momentum. Ended up getting turned over by the scrum half. Van Zyl on his 100th cap in really a short space of time, really. Only 4 seasons he's been here and managed to get to 100 caps.
Contact in the air by White.
Okay, advantage, contact in the air. Pulled the arm.
Penalty advantage to Saracens. Daly grappled under control by Burke, who releases Shegan, running at Emmons. Inside beautifully to Elliott. Can't get away from young Woods. Big tackle. Picked up by Good. Wonderful hands to Onyama Christie. Drops it deftly on the toe and then just lost as he went to scoop up.
It's worth a look, surely, let it go.
It's not off his knee.
Seems a little unnecessary just to call it so early. We could always check it. But it's a great bit of play beforehand.
I feel like I'm going square. Yeah, he's kicking out a little bit. I know we've had two scrums.
Scrum hasn't gone anywhere.
No, I know, but that's what I'm just saying. So, obviously,
If you go forward, then obviously we can obviously look at it. If it doesn't go anywhere,
Saracens under the tenure of Mark McCall have never failed to miss the playoffs, save when they've been mired in the salary cap controversies, either with points deductions or down in the Championship. Haven't missed out on a place in the top 4 since 2009. You think they should have been left to run, Chris?
I do, for sure. I think he falls forward. I just think it was a little bit harsh to... It was great play before it. Tobias Elliott probably should have come infield instead of... I understand what he was trying to do and trying to get on the outside of his man. Slight too early, I feel, but it was good play. Great awareness for Christie to get a little nudge through too.
Arthur Green, 21 years of age. He's worked on his physicality immensely, and we're seeing that every time he explodes off the base. Jeans took it on further. Loose pass, Bailey gathers, but it did go forwards. Bath, though, were under penalty advantage.
There comes over, takes the ball. Number 12 comes over, takes the ball.
You've mentioned a few times Jamie Arthur Green, the number 8 for Baths. Here you see him, look, he's not messing around, he's off the floor and he's cleaning 3 or 4, 2 players out there at that ruck. That's someone I'd like in my team. Just a willingness to get off the deck and go and clean the next ruck before anybody else. They're the kind of traits you look for in players. You can work with stuff like that. Someone's willing, so eager just to work more harder than anybody else.
Do our best to keep you as up to date as possible with all important live scores from around the country. Importantly for Saracens, only Northampton at the moment doing them much of a favour. You need Bristol or Sale to drop points, squeeze into that top 4. Final time of asking. Parry, welcome to the Premiership, young fella. Cemented by Fergus Burke on the gain line.
Use it, please.
Screder, Thompson, Cowan, Wales under-20 international. He's captained Loughborough Uni in the Bucks competition, where a lot of these young Bath players have cut their teeth, the university side. Good takes.
What's it? It's off his feet. I agree. Okay, use it, please. Make sure you're on side step. Thanks.
Here's Woods. His X factor is his pace. That's what the Bath coaches have been telling us through the week. No opportunity to run there, and then a little bit of miscommunication from Bath, and they're done for offside.
Yeah, you can see sometimes when they're getting back off kicks, there's just that slight lack of understanding and timing on stuff. Because they probably haven't spent that much time together in this team. They've only had a week probably to get prepared, and they're the kind of little details that you need to nail down every week, spending time together. That one's a bit naive. It's a great hit here from Fergus Burke. Just stopped dead the tackler. Forces that they probably want to take a little bit more time there back to that ruck, but because the hit's so good, forces just to play in quickly.
It's young Will Jeans of Taunton, just getting across wire. Fonseca to Shagan, and Burke thumped by Parry, but penalty advantage to Saracens. Itoje over the top for McFarland. Wears a huge double shot. Carl Dixon eventually does blow, and he wants to have a closer look
on number 12.
at the shot
7, Matthew.
Yeah, 7.
on Tompkins from Tom Cowan.
Thanks, mate. First, I want to check if there's arms. And it's clearly off the ball. So it's at least a penalty. We're just looking if it's anything more.
It's just coming now, Carl.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, Cowan on Tompkins, so on the right of your picture, doesn't actually get the ball.
So we're just going to get the angle from behind to see if there's any arms in the tackle.
Okay, thanks, mate.
You see Saracens 12 there. What do you make of that, Chris?
He was very quick to blow his whistle though, Carl, which I thought there was a lot more in it, but I just think he's got his timing wrong. I don't think it's malicious.
I can't see on that angle, Matt, so unless you've got a different angle, I'm going to stick with a penalty.
There's no angle from the far side in goal.
Okay, so we've got
I
to
see it being more than a penalty.
It is a tackle off the ball. Penalty only, happy with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, yep.
I agree with that.
Yep. Just a penalty. Couldn't get a far outside angle just to see if he was using his arms or not, so I can't guess. So it's just a penalty.
I've just seen an angle, and it's not clear that he's not using his arms.
Okay.
Sometimes off the line, it's because the players are coming so fast. Contacts can look slightly more
I think you'll be all right.
harder to tell exactly what's happened because there's such big collisions from the players. I think that was one of those. Nick Tompkins, great line, short line. Cohen's half got to commit to it, but they're the... When you're playing week in, week out, they're the bits of timing that you'll get nailed on.
Here comes Saracens, most maul tries in the Premiership this season. The disguise, flat trajectory on the throw, and half of North London ensconced in this shunt. Unstoppable. And Jamie George wedged in the woodwork, right at the heart of things, to give Saracens the lead for the first time in this match.
Yeah, all too easy there for Saracens, and that man, Jamie George, textbook stuff. Kick in the corner, 5-metre driving maul. As soon as they're set here, they catch Bath off guard with a quick, short line out. Look how good it is, set, flat, everyone's doing the roll. Bath are far too high. Can't stop that from there. Too easy for Saracens.
In the middle of all that, Marco Riccioni has passed his head injury assessment. He's back on. Harvey Beaton returns to the bench. It's more like it than Fergus Burke. Saracens leads extended, and it feels like they have got a grasp of this game at last.
Yeah, I think the way around this for Bath is that you just don't give Saracens the easy to field position. That came off an error when you're catching your own kick, ran into each other, and then off the line out, the early tackle just makes it too easy for Saracens. Saracens are too good. You've got to make them work for it, you've got to put them in positions to work for it. Orlando Bailey and Schroeder at scrum half, they've got to be the guys to do that. And Orlando Bailey has hit some good kickoffs, so let's hope he can do another one here.
It's a deeper, flatter kick from Bailey. Good brings it in over the shoulder, and then Tom Willis beats an inordinate amount of defenders. 91 of them, most ever since the people at Oval Insights and their colleagues started gathering this data in a single Prem season. Whopping kick from Fonsale, and Woods couldn't risk touching it.
That's a great kick. There's curve on the ball when it comes off his foot, so it's always heading towards a touchline on his favoured side, of course being right-footed, but look how the ball turns in the air.
As long as there's a competition.
And when you're under that as a winger and it's so close to the touchline, they're the difficult ones sometimes, because you've got to look where the line is, stay in, stay out.
Some
That's got to
interesting,
send one back.
beg your pardon, actually, some interesting scores to bring you. That's a crooked throw, Sarries will have possession, but Exeter 5-3 up against Sale, and Northampton Saints leading Gloucester at Kingsholm by 12 points to 7. That combination of results would allow Saracens to clamber into the top 4.
Exeter the funny one, because you look at their team they've got such a good team, and I just get a sense by the way they've been playing on the Rob Baxter past few weekends. It's just a change. They just seem more aggressive, more physical past few weeks. So can't say I'm surprised by the scoreline with the players that they've got.
Stationary, use it please.
Beautiful field position this for Saracens to launch something. Daly, Goods, one touch with a hand, one with a foot. Emmons under massive pressure in his own 22. Sneaks under the tackle though. That was crucial. Beg your pardon for any of the offensive language you might have picked up. Louis Screuder none too happy at the absence of arms in that Saracens clean-out. The Springbok clears,
Be careful.
and Bath can breathe again.
Just saying.
This is what the Bath players were talking about. Elliot Daly comes late, gets knocked out the side here. Oh, this is the one after. Everyone was a little annoyed at, but he did go in, he did charge in it.
Saracens cranking up the pressure on Yama Christie. Beautiful ball from Daly. Fonsale, George, soft hands, hot hands. Ezekwe caught though. Bath hunting for the steal. Good, pulling it for Burke.
Oh, nice.
Elliott, he's got wheels, gets it out the back door incredibly to McFarland. Here come the thrills and the skills, and then a spill.
I'll be honest with you now, I was facing the wrong way. So
It's a nice bit of attack from Saracens, wrap around play,
Facing the wrong way.
just peeling off the shoulder of Elliot Daly. That's the line that I'd be on. That's the line that I'd be finding myself in all the time. It's great work. He actually misses his handoff. It just goes over the top of the Bath player. Had he had that one on the money, I think he would have been free.
Here's the table as things stand. Sale and Bristol doing enough, holding up their end of the bargain to remain in third and fourth. Saracens at the moment, because Northampton are winning at Kingsholm, would leapfrog Gloucester. Wouldn't be enough to take them into the playoff spots. Arthur Green, 3-5-0 fum. What a talent he looks to be. Screuder to Kirk. Just those drills around the fringes, not quite on point for Bath. Perhaps not surprising given the huge changes in this squad. Itoje lands another charge down. More of those than anybody else this season. And Saracens earned the penalty to boot.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, they're the bits that you need to get right, especially from your 9 and 10. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, with the experience that the Bath 9 and 10 have got. The setup needs to be better. You can't have Maro Itoje in front of you and no cover and not a long enough ruck if you be able to get your kick away. That's where the Bath 9 and 10 need to take control more of this young team.
Beautiful throw for the tail. Ezekwe took it. Saracens rev the engine. They lost it, but there was an infringement in there. And a yellow card brandished. Archie Griffin off to the naughty step.
3 tackled it, but there's still a player engaged. That's why it's not a penalty try on the floor.
Saracens are going to tap and trundle here.
You have to kick the line out, yeah. You have to kick that.
In fact, Itoje says, let's go to the corner. I have another crack at this depleted Bath pack.
It's worked 3 times so far. I know they've not scored 3 times, but they scored the first try off it. They've just got a yellow card from the third one. So expect exactly the same here.
Itoje in the middle. And Saracens flex their biceps again. Tompkins and Elliott going to help. George in command. Daly riding side saddle. George hunting for the plastic. Somehow Bath have kept him out.
I think he's held it up on his own man there, Jamie George.
All the players honeypotting around this ball. All besides Jack Woods and Rotimi Shegan. Far, far on the left. The upshot is a Saracen scrum, and Bath are going to have to make a change because they've got a tight head prop in the bin.
Yeah, I thought we could play it. We can't. Sure.
You have to feel a slightly hard done to there if you're a Bath fan.
Balls in the air, everyone had rights. Clearly short. Here we go.
I think it's the ball's gone to the floor. Saracens have taken it to the floor. It's not Bath's fault that they can't get it out. I think it should be Bath ball here, to be honest. But Saracens going to get another go.
7 Bath.
I think Jamie George actually accidentally, in falling to the floor, ended up on top of his own man.
Johan Vergranis having to sacrifice Tom Cowan, his open side flanker, to bring on Kieran Verdon, Taunton boy, former Worcester Warriors loanee, to prop up this Bath scrum. They haven't put an extra back into this, so it's 8 against 7. And it is a gilt-edged opportunity, Chris, for Saracens to bag their third.
Yeah, I think they're going to go first phase here, straight to Tompkins.
Do it again, do it again, do it again. I don't think Bath took it, and I think you went a little bit early. So we've got to make sure when we engage, we stop and we're square. Make sure you take it, don't hit through the mark early.
I'd anticipate, yeah, the ball going to Tompkins here, the 12. He'll try and get on the outside or to the Bath 12. And then he's got options outside and go short, go out the back. And I think the ultimate goal will be Shager on the left-hand wing, scores his second try of the day.
No member of the starting Bath pack aged older than 23 years. Kieran Verdon, a couple of years older than that, has just become the elder statesman off the bench.
Let's go again, quick reset, let's go, quick reset.
Yeah, you've got to learn fast. I'm all for it. A lot of these lads will take, if we don't see him again the rest of the season, takes so much going into next season, confidence and pre-season. It just gives you that, you've had a taste for it, you want to go again, push you on even more pre-season, want to prove people wrong and show that you're worth a shot. And the Bath squad at the minute is, as a young player, exactly where you want to be.
This looks ominous for Bath. Free shot for Sarries. Burke goes blind, hit hard by McConaughey. Scrader slows it up a little. Bath come piling through the middle. Saracens mitts on it. They want the maul decision. Carl Dixon had them under advantage anyway.
Step out.
Saracens will probably go for the tap here, get through the phases. You don't want to speed the game up, you don't want to be slowing it down all the time, which what's happening at the moment.
Scrum. You can, penalty, scrum.
Just keep working on the stability on the set. Yeah.
It's actually a great read here. He stops to try, really. It's a 3-on-2 down the short side, but look at this read coming from the outside in.
Let's go.
That's a great hit from a man who's going to be retiring this season. Still fully committed to this team and wants to play his part till the end of the year. That's a difficult tackle, that is. It's not one I'd be advising any young winger to be doing, because you've got to be pop committed, and if you don't come up with a full hit, the try will be scored.
Saracens apply the squeeze again. Ball scooshes out. Fonseca, Daly cutting back and finishing. A touch of class from the three-time Lion, and Saracens beginning to pull away.
There's a reason they went for the scrum again, because they felt confident. There's opportunities everywhere. Ball actually spills out left, and that's an advantage to Van Zyl, because it gets him on his way already, that side of the scrum. It's a great pass though. I don't think he can see Daly fully, so to manage to pick him out there, I've got to anticipate that he's going to run the line, of course, but to throw it into the space like that, and Elliot did just a great read of the game. Good finish.
Burke slots the conversion. Saracens 19, Bath 7.
Yeah, Saracens now just looking really comfortable. 31 minutes in, and Bath have got a yellow card, but Bath haven't really fired a shot since the first couple of minutes when they got over for the try. Had no field position really, and Nick Tompkins is actually on the halfway line throwing the ball to the Bath, trying to get him to speed up. Bath has taken all the time in the world, because they're still going to count this 10-minute sin bin down.
Try scorer is the restart claimer. Will Jeans and Jasper Spandler, two of the new boys, bring him down. The supercomputer used by stats partners at Oval Insights gave Sarries a 22% chance of reaching the playoffs. Start of play today with Exeter and Bristol currently winning against Sale and Bristol, I beg your pardon, currently winning against Exeter and Harlequins. Even a win here, as things stand, would not be enough to take them into the final four. And all they can do is focus on taking maximum points from this match.
You don't actually see many of these penalties given, really. It must have been obvious for Dixon. As you see Nick Ezekwe fully in the way. You just can't stand there and block anymore. It's been the rule this season. But to get that penalty, you've got to be willing to be the one trying to charge down.
The line-out doesn't function for Bath, but then Onyala Christie has knocked it on. Double knock-on, in fact, and Saracens out of jail.
Yes. Unfortunate for Bath, because they've had to put up with a lot, really, to get back down here. Get a penalty, 5 metres out, and you knock on the line-out. I'd make that line-out so simple for everybody. Just get the ball in, get through the phases inside the 22. You never know what will happen. Going for a risky line-out, it's always a hard thing to do when you've not had the ball for so long.
Just over 2 minutes left on that Archie Griffin sin binning. So Bath still scrummaging with 7 players. And we'll redo that one because it's popped right out the tunnel.
It's come straight out the tunnel. Got to reset. Still the ball, just comes out.
So all the other fixtures so far, Jimmy, going as planned. Bristol way ahead against Harlequins. Sale pulling back into the lead against Exeter. Gloucester not win at home against Northampton currently, which is a funny one, I suppose. Gloucester have been so good this season at home. Last game of the season. I am slightly surprised. They're normally 30 points up by now. They'll all be a bit surprised by that.
So much drama, so much pressure upon those teams jostling for position. Only Bath with nothing to play for. Their semi-final place long since secured at the earliest time in Premiership history, back in round 17, 14 games in. Never been done quite so quickly. They, by the way, we now know will be playing on Friday night at the Rec, live with us on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus, against whoever winds up in 4th in a minute. That looks like Sale or Bristol.
Interesting decision on the Friday night. We haven't seen too many of them previously. It's going to be an amazing occasion. Bath have done great things at the Rec this year, so Friday night's going to be a special one. But yeah, it's normally Saturday, so they must have gone for the extra recovery. Another day over whoever's going to be in the final.
Another line-out goes awry for Bath though, and Jamie George puts a little step on Skredder. Fonzale sees the space, covering as Jack Woods drills it back. Alex Good, more than double the age of his opposite number. Here we go, the teenager and the 37-year-old. Woods covering across, sat down by Daly, who finds Good again. Fonzale, Riccioni just couldn't hit McFarland. And Kieran Verdon with a delicate swing of the right boot chases Ezekwe back. He's under pressure from Will Parry.
Don't go in now, don't go in.
Saracens have scrambled back well and plugged those holes.
Take the ball.
And Fonzale skirting around the enormous Rhys Carey and just taking the sting out of that Bath attack. They will now have Archie Griffin returning to the field. Kieran Verdon will toddle off, and Tom Cowan as well back in the back row.
It's been Sarri's Achilles heel at times this season. There's a clear opportunity out here on this left side, but they're unable to put it together. And it's happened a few times this year where they've not been able to quite click into rhythm to move that to the space. There's a real opportunity outside, but if you can't get the ball there, it's useless. You're just giving the opposition another chance.
Haven't seen Bath hands on ball for a while, and we're not going to see them this time because, again, the drills are faulty, the cohesion is lacking, and Tom Willis, like a bull, ploughing through tacklers. Numbers here for Saracens. Riccioni opts to go route one. Fonzale now moves it. Good. Daly, just wanted to catch and flick that. Didn't quite get the coordination right. Here's Woods, forwards in his crosshairs. Not a vintage pass from the young man, but Bailey's there to feed off the scraps. He told you all over him, and we're going to have to pull that one back.
On the 10-metre line.
I want young Jack Woods to have a go there. Just understand you're on your debut, but these are the time. Just have a go. Use your speed. See what happens. Don't be too overawed by it all. Just have a run. See what happens. You'll be surprised.
So by and large, results going as widely predicted. Leicester, Sale and Bristol all winning, all doing what they have to do to book their spots in the playoff alongside Bath, who have that unassailable lead at the summit. Gloucester, a couple of points down at Northampton, and Saracens well in command here.
And Northampton will want to get Champions Cup rugby too next season, so they do need to win, just to make sure.
Screder to Bailey, and Parry straight up and down, hard running centre. Fling it out the back to Screder. Daly, beautiful bat, and Shegan now in possession, seeking out soft shoulders. Screder does enough to stop him. Daly, Burke, Ezekwe, two-man tackle from that JP Ferreira driven defence, the most miserly defence in the competition. Daly sees the opportunity out wide, just a little bit too much Weetabix on it. Forward from Onyama Christie. Bath will have it back. We're hearing, by the way, just as we had a glimpse of that updated table, that your old pal Christian Wade has bagged another try for Gloucester, Ashley. I think he still needs about 8 more today to reel in your tremendous try-scoring record.
Yeah,
getting a bit twitchy here? One's all right,
I don't mind. Well, going to make a bit twitchy. Well, the fact that he's going to Rugby League next year, how long that is for, we'll see. I think that's TBC, whether it goes really well or not for him. But there's always time for him to come back. There's always time. I'm sure he'll come back and ruin the party in the next year or two. That's without doubt. He's
definitely got a few clubs to go before he catches up with you.
No comment. I need him to stay 8-9 tries away, because then he might look at it and go, I probably can't get that in a year. But if he gets to 5 or 6, he can come back and get it.
Right, last play of the first half. And Bath set things up in the middle. Screder, Hennessy, big powerful Welshman, into his countryman Tompkins. As the half-time gong sounds, Saracens create the maul, and that ball is never seen the light of day. Half-time at the Stonex, and after a shaky old start, Saracens are doing what they have to do. They are winning, they are prevailing, and they have a handsome lead at the interval. These young ones of Bath, though, boy, there's a lot to like about how they are taking it to the big dogs. The internationals who rule things here at the Stonex. Maro Itoje and his pals have not had it all their own way in the opening 40, but as things stand, despite their leads, they are not finishing in the playoff positions. Half-time in North London, Saracens 19, Bath 7. His final 40 minutes of professional rugby. Theo McFarlane tapping it back. Rudy McConaughey looking it forwards. Saracens retained fewer restarts than anybody else in the league, but with Theo McFarlane, former Almoan basketball international, in their ranks, starting today, they have a serious weapon in the air, Ashley, and they're using him well today.
Yeah, I feel like he's not been able to get into his straps this season. Struggled with injuries, had a couple of games, and then not been able to just fully get going to. He's an incredible athlete. We've not, unfortunately, seen enough of him, but he's a man that is definitely more than capable of looking after that area of the game.
Okay, stationary.
Stable platform for Saracens. Daly takes it flat. Fonsale looking to the short side, and here is McFarland leaping and offloading, but straight to McConaughey. Wonderful read from the veteran, and off he goes up against Tobias Elliott, who is hearing back into his own 22. Searing speed from him. Burke there as well, and Burke under duress with the clearance. But that is a humongous territorial gain from Bath, and all thanks to the vision of the man who could be playing his last game today.
Well, just as we spoke about him, the bit of skill that he has, look at the leap. It's almost like a basketballer. It's such a great read. I know he's forced into the pass, but McConaughey's just got the speed inside Jamie George. It's a lovely kick as well. I mean, it nearly went for a 22-22. Just got to make this count now, Bath. They've not done enough with it so far, first half.
McFarlane was up again, looming in West Country crosshairs, but it's won back by Bath. Parry, using his power. Screder to Griffin, back from his sin binning. Australia born, Singapore raised, Welsh parentage. Cowan, another from across the Severn Bridge. Here's Arthur Green. Again, we're seeing his name plenty today. Griffin again. Bath utilising that close quarter shunts, but just leaving themselves isolated at the breakdown. And Nick Tompkins, not for the first time today, with his wandering hands securing possession.
Yeah, Bath taking the same technique they did in the first half off the line out. Quick phases, up the middle, one out runners, which proved effective first half, but this time, if you're going to do it, you can't leave a man go on his own. When there's a ball fetcher like Nick, look, there's no one around him. It's far too long. Bath pack are far too slow, and then it's a miss clean from Spandler. It's just too easy. You got to do more with your chances if you're the Bath young forward pack.
Tompkins at first receiver. Good, and Daly, the 1-2 between the experienced playmakers. Bath get onto it though, and it's a brilliant steal. What a pilfer that is. Orlando Bailey with a tackle, and in went Cowan with a pinch. Superb.
I think it's actually Spandler that missed the clean a second ago, just totally redeemed himself.
Which way are you going?
Great turnover after a break as well. He's worked hard to get there. It's a lovely 1-2 from Elliot Daly and Alex Good, showing all their experience, just being alive after a half break. See his half tackle, but staying alive on the inside. My mistake, it was Cowan who got over the ball, as he should. Any good blindside worth the salt, straight over the top of that. They've been good in defence, it's more their attack, getting that functioning.
Double change in the front row for Bath. Arthur Cordwell and Kepu Tuipulotu on for Scott Kirk and Jasper Spandler. Tuipulotu's first job will be to throw into this line out. What a burgeoning talent he is. Tongan and Welsh lineage. He is one of the shooting stars of English rugby. Bailey and Parry and Green up the guts, but Tompkins has picked his pocket. And Saracens can turn the tables here. Riccioni moving it wide, under penalty advantage. Elliott puts the hammers down. Pick up from Fonsail and then left behind by Ezekwe.
He was never onside and then went early as well.
Nice whistle, mate.
It's a great turnover from Tompkins. Arthur Green, really good carry. But look at the rip and the spin. Saracens should have done more with this. Tobias, he's got to let this go, Elliot. He's got to get it. Might look like half a break to him, but you've got to let it go. Get up the touchline, get back in support on the inside.
Signature Elliot Daly. Left boot lasered into the corner, and the drum beat sounds the approach of a great big Saracens pack.
It's definitely an underrated skill, being able to do that when there's not too much pressure on the players doing it today. But giving your team a platform like that from nothing to put it 5 metres out. You see the pressure in some big games get the better of players, kickers, and I mean it's not something I could have ever done, but they just can't. Too many times I see them go too short, too safe, instead of really going for it. The difference of having a 5 metre line out to having a 7-8 metre line out completely changes how you approach that line out and the way you attack. So I would like to see it push more in international games.
Will Jean's down receiving treatments. 21-year-old from Chard and then Taunton Rugby Football Club. bulked up a bit after a knee injury last year. The break in play for his medical attention allows us to just once again bring you the as it stands table. Nothing changing really. Sale and Bristol winning, Leicester doing the job at home to Newcastle to secure the home playoff. That would be on Saturday, Bath playing on Friday. Gloucester and Saracens here still hovering tantalisingly out of the final four. One more try to secure the bonus point for Saracens. McFarland takes it down. Richards comes in and drags him down. Good defensive drill from Bath. Tompkins. Again, Bath making a mess of that Sarries breakdown. George restores that forward momentum. Richards coming up too quickly, so Saracens can gamble here. Burke, Daly with him, tabs it on the toe. Scrowder will pick it up, and the penalty again given.
It's a really good defence from Bath. They just keep making the mistake of giving a penalty away when you're defending so well and doing so much. If you can cut that out, because they're winning the ball back. But I don't know, it's hard to see Saracens missing twice from that far out.
Because it's a tackle, don't jump over.
Saracens yet to lose a line out. 9 from 9. It's opening 47 minutes. Itoje wins this one. And there'll be no sacking that first up. They shift the point of contact. They pinwheel inside. Then trundle back in the direction of the corner flag. Inexorably stepping, marching, ploughing forwards. And the try is awarded. Bonus point bagged. And once again, the maul, Saracens' weapon of choice, a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't see them missing twice. And that's what happened. It's the fourth time now they've gone to that. And why would you not? It's still working. They're so strong in there, the Saracens forwards. Bath get a really good setup. It's a spin-off that does them really, having to reset. Really smart from Mario Itoje. Knowing that Bath could be strong first up, so just change the point of contact. Drive from the other, from a different angle.
Take your time. If there's no time up there, take your time.
Should have had 3 really, Jamie George.
Fergus Burke taking every second of the 60 allotted to him. Not finding the target. 24 points to 7, Saracens leads, and maximum points should be theirs.
Yeah, there's going to be no let-up for Bath either when the Saracens bench comes on. And we've got some great players. Gonzalez, Ben Earl, Theo Dan, all great ball carriers.
This was the scoreline a couple of weeks ago, at around about this time when Saracens suffered that calamitous late collapse. The Gardens 24-7 up, 3 scores to the good with 21 minutes to play. And for all the talk of whether the last try involved 1, 2 or 0 forward passes, it was a late lapse that has cost them dearly in the race. The Premiership run-in. Woods wasn't going to win that battle. Elliott commanded the space, bossed the aerial exchanges. And Saracens can flick the switch here. George is on the prowl for a hat-trick. Skirting past one. Fonsale. Tompkins. Daly. Shegan's got wheels on the outside. Daly fishing in the defender. And then misdirecting the pass. Austin Emmons picking up the scraps for Bath. Orlando Bailey is down and hurt, just out of picture. So Bath playing without their fly half, trying to extricate themselves from a sticky area of the pitch.
Okay, use it, please.
And Louis Scrowder, another who's leaving the club at the end of the campaign, just calms things down and finds touch.
It's not good defence initially because they come in far too tight. It's a misread completely, but great endeavour to get back. and solve the problem, which they did. Look at the numbers, the Bath numbers in the picture. Something you can work with. Emmons works all the way back, gets in the passing lane, stops the try.
Here's Van Sale. Burke, Daly, slickness of those hands again. Elliott working off his wing. 9 tries this season, breakout campaign for the young man. Maui takes some stopping, almost kneecapped by Will Jeans. And then Kepu Tuipulotu comes through the middle.
Both in a blow position. Play on.
Carl Dixon happy enough with that clean out for now. Won't require another check from the TMO as Emmons kicks down. Tackle timing is fine. Good, back to Jamie George of all people doing the scrambling, and he's got the class and the composure to find Elliott, who gets away from one. Woods has come a long way to cover. Woods against Elliott. The teenager wins that duel, and then he's splattered by Van Sale, and Van Sale takes the ball. It's getting a bit feisty down there. And doesn't the Stonex love it? Some defiance on the final day from Saracens. And at the front of it, one of their snarling centurions, Ivan Van Sale.
This is a clean on Van Sale initially. Doesn't phase him though. He's up a few phases later, getting turnover ball. Tobias Elliott, a great kick up the pitch, chased his own kick.
Who's talking to you, Carl?
If you're not going to have players put the effort in like that, then you're not going to get the turnover. It's all based on being willing to chase after the ball hard and put yourself in a hole, which is what Tobias Elliott did. And that results in the turnover. Saracens gives them another field position here where they're definitely going to stick it in the corner. And Jamie George has gone off, so he's not going to get his hat-trick, but it's highly likely that Theo Dan might get his first try as soon as he walks on.
Yeah, just have a look at the faces and the names flashing across the bottom of your screen. Off go Itoje, Jamie George and Theo McFarlane, 3 internationals, 2 Lions. Theo Dan, England international on, Hugh Tezard, England A international on, and Juan Martín González, one of Argentina's foremost young talents. Still 24 himself, but what a player, what an athlete. Hat-trick against Newcastle a few weeks ago. There he is in jersey 20. It's not just Bath who have enviable depth in their ranks. With all that said, Ashley, would failing to make the playoffs this season of transition, some big characters retiring at the end of last summer, would failure represent an underachievement for Saracens, or is this roughly where they should be given the quality of the other teams around them?
I think they'll probably say it's an underachievement in-house. I think it's roughly where they thought they might be this season, but they always expect more. They're really disappointed with the Northampton result because they were in such control. In the last 20 minutes, Northampton came from nowhere to nick it from them, but they put an awful lot into it. And I do think it affected Northampton slightly in the final. The physicality they had to go against with Saracens the week before maybe took a bit of energy away from them. And as we see Theo Dan with the ball,
he's
slowly getting there.
That try line. Dan spinning off, caught high by Skræder. Bath did well to stem the initial tide, but the waves will continue to buffet across their bows.
There go, there go.
Bath did really well there, actually, forcing it into the touchline.
Okay.
They've been good at the first up mauls a lot of the time in defending them. It's when they come again and Saracens will change up the move and change up the approach to the maul, which is what we're going to probably see here. It's this second one that they've struggled to contain. The Saracens have scored, I think, every second attempt so far.
That's one's backwards.
Right, you don't need to be a clairvoyant to know what's coming here. Black jerseys tightly meshed together, and that drive continues to propel them forth. Theo Dan picks up where Jamie George left off. You know it's coming. You know the tank is trundling. Stopping it, another matter entirely. 5 tries for Sarries.
Yeah, it didn't take Theo Dan long. He's been on the pitch about 90 seconds. 2 line-out throws, 2 driving mauls. And a try for his efforts. That's as good as some of my games ever had. Obviously never did a line-out, never hit a driving maul. Just scored a try every now and again, Jamie. So good effort from that man. Yeah, it's come predictable from Saracens this game. It's hard to not to go away from it, really, because it's so hard to stop. Even without Maro Itoje and Jamie George on the pitch.
Right, do you know what, we'll talk about Fergus Burt's conversion in a moment, because maybe, just maybe, the ghosts of Bristanbul are looming like a spectre for the Bears down in the West Country. Harlequins have scored again. They trail Bristol at Ashton Gate 31 points to 24, we understand, with the conversion to be taken. A 7-point ball game, 26 minutes to play. Sale 23, Exeter 12 down in Devon, Gloucester 29, Northampton Saints 21. Harlequins have kicked that conversion, by the way. Missing Marcus Smith today. They trail Bristol Bears by 5 points. So that score still to be updated. 31-26 it is now. Exeter 12, Sale 23, as you can see. So Sale at the moment assured of that 3rd place. Gloucester would stay above Saracens and would potentially leapfrog Bristol if Harlequins can continue mounting that comeback.
Don't go in. Get 4 on the wrong side.
And amongst all that chaos, we knew it wouldn't be dull, didn't we? We knew it wouldn't be as straightforward as all the supercomputers predicted. Tyler O'Fai has come on for his Premiership debut. You'll recognise the surname. You might well recognise the skill set as well, but it's time for him to start writing his own chapter in this rich family history of sporting excellence. We might get a look at him on this attack. He's standing off to the left, but instead Bath go blind through Jeans, who has impressed today with his physicality, his willingness to run into brick walls. Hennessy, 6'3", over 100 kilos. Scrada and Cordwell, one of the leaving contingent announced by the club this week. Bailey to Griffin. See Rooney McConaughey's just shifted inside to the centre position. Will parry the man who's made way for a fire. Here's Woods. Can't get away from Daly and Gonzalez. Oh, Richards has lost it.
2 knock-ons. 1 by Bath.
Yeah, great to see Tyler O'Fai making his Prem debut this afternoon. His dad was a hero of mine, no doubt about that. I watched him as a boy growing up, scoring, it felt like 15 tries a game at one point for Wigan Warriors and Widnes. So it's a lot to carry around with that name knocking around. His dad played a majority of his time in rugby league, so give him a little bit of leeway, but yeah, let's hope he's as fast as his dad and as elusive and scores as many tries.
Do you know, his little brother Phoenix, who's 15 going on 16, signed a contract with Spurs Footballing Academy. Some good genes in the O'Fai family, but we should let Tyler showcase himself for the athlete and the coming man in rugby that he is. Speaking, by the way, to some of the academy coaches at Bath through the week, they are very confident, very, very confident about his potential to excel top level of the game. Right to the top was the phrase that one of the members of staff at Farley House used this week when we spoke to him about young Tyler. Confident, not arrogant, pace, footwork. He's doing his A-levels at school last year, and they think very, very highly of him indeed.
Play it, you step around, play it. Loose edge, steps round.
Louis Scrowder takes the penalty quickly and finds Rooney McConaughey bashing into Ivan Fonsale. Bath up towards this 22 for practically the first time and then losing it, and Fonsale has it. Tompkins lets it run to Daly, and he can chase Bath all the way back. 50-22 was in the post there, but the bouncing ball had other plans. First touch as a Gallagher Premiership player for Tyler O'Fire, and here is that generational speed we spoke about. Scryer has to scramble at the base. Bailey slashing end-over-end action to Alex Good. That raises a cheer. Daly having a run at Hennessy. Fonsale, 3-on-2 here for Sarries. Gonzalez kept it in hand. Here's Tom Willis, beating more defenders. Approaching the final quarter of this match. Not to be any more twists and turns and chicanes in the direction of traffic, flowing from right to left. Clever from Fonsale. Burke latches onto it. Chips Woods on Yama Christie's making tracks. Burke's all on his own. Emmons can't get there, and the Kiwi finishes with a flourish. The vision of Fonsale and Burke, and a predatory splash down on the plastic from the marauding fly half.
It's a great kick there over the top from Van Zyl, but this, I've been so keen to see this all year from Fergus Burke. It's a clear decision making, chip and chase, and he puts on the burners. He's quick. You haven't seen enough of his running game this season for Saracens, because when we have, he's fast and he scores tries.
Right, it's all good.
Quite surprised he didn't go right under the post to make sure he didn't miss the kick though.
Yes.
That area of the game, 60 minutes. Saracens bench comes on and just lifts the team.
A Stonex salutes. A standing ovation from 10,000 Saracens for perhaps the ultimate Saracen. Setter of standards, relentless winner of trophies, and of course, leader of the most exuberant and legendary celebrations. Through the hard times and the goods, 17 years in Saracens black. For the 402nd and quite possibly now the final time, Alex Good troops off from the trenches. Well played, Goody. Well played.
All's live, all's live.
It's like basketball that was, where the game just stops and everyone applauses. It's really nice for Alex Good. Not very often in rugby you get those moments.
Do you know, Chris, with the number of retiring icons from the Premiership this season, Mike Brown, Dan Cole, Danny Kerr, Ben Youngs, Alex Good, it feels like the end of an era for English rugby.
Yeah, I definitely thought had the same thoughts the past few weeks. There's a lot of players that have gone that have had a really big impact in English rugby for the past 10, 15 years. It's now up to the next crew to make sure it keeps going that way, and we have another decade of players that are so consistent for English rugby. Alex Good, unfortunately, never really got the first shot at international rugby, but what he's done here at this club has been amazing, really.
Here's Ben Earl, one of those next custodians of Saracens dynasty. A Lion himself this summer, but done for holding on.
I want to see if you steal it first. That's why.
Spoken so much about Alex Good this week, it's worth just recapping his astonishing array of honours. 6 premierships, 3 Investec Champions Cup crowns, Champions Cup Player of the Year in 2019, was absolutely instrumental in all the success, in all the brilliant days that Saracens fans will forever remember. The only man to play 400 games for one club in the Premiership era. His career has spanned the days of Richard Hill, 2003 world champion, legend of Saracens himself, who was born in the early 70s, right the way up to Jack Woods today, his opposite number, born in July 2006. It is remarkable longevity, and you get the sense that if he really wanted to, he could play on a few years yet. And what a mark, what a footprint he leaves, not just on this club, not just on this league, but on the sport itself. And actually, you must have some particularly fond memories of sharing a back three and sharing some phenomenally successful times with Alex Good.
Yeah, without doubt, great memories of him playing with. Took me a bit of time to start to like him, you know. We got there in the end, though, Jamie. But yeah, great memories, winning trophies, great players. Give me so many tries. I've thanked him too many times.
Tompkins can't link with Burke, and be picked up by Bailey and McConaughey, who might get a try-scoring swan song of his own. Elliott reeled him in. John Stewart, another of the departing contingent at the season's end. Skredder to Stadden, 2 metres out, the blue, black and white. Cordwell, helped by Tuipulotu. Skredder, wide it goes from Bailey, on fire! Welcome to the big time! A moment for the clan of fire to cherish forever. Teenage Tyler off the bench over the try line, and you suspect that will be the first of many, many Premiership touchdowns.
It's great play here, McConaughey. Involvement at centre, he's had some good impact since he's gone there.
I'll tell him it's 30 seconds now.
Been good in this part of the pitch at times, Bath. It's a great ball out, but how good's this?
Try's good.
Been on 10 minutes. He said as he got on his dad's pedigree. Can't say better than that. 1 game, 1 try. Could be more in this. No better feeling than scored your first Premiership try. Something that'll stick with you forever.
Do you remember your first, Ashley?
I do, against Wasps, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those moments that they're important, aren't they? The first in anything in your career. It doesn't matter how you get it, doesn't matter the context of this match to him. He's come on and he's scored a try. For any try score, any born try scorer, that's all that matters, really.
Did you do the splash for try 1?
No, none of that then. I wish I had.
We've got another famous surname, particularly in these parts, joining us. Charlie Bracken, son of World Cup winning Kieran, is on. One of 2 Bracken boys in the Saracen squad. Jack, like Charlie, England under-20s international. Ben Earl patrolling in the backfield. Saw him doing a job at centre late in the game against Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. Happy enough to deputise there, particularly in games like this where realistically the result is not in doubt. Bracken, Tompkins, Daly, and Lucio Cinti back from his 4 and a bit month injury layoff. Hamstring problem hampering the Argentine. Bracken rocked by the counter ruck. Gonzalez, where's he off to? Forwards, backwards, stuttering and eventually felled. Tompkins, Maui, Burke couldn't control.
It's happened far too many times today for Saracens, that. So careless with the ball at times. When the shape that they run in attack is very, It's pretty simple, not doing anything too complex, but sometimes the ball at the line, it's been the wrong pass or ball's just been dropped. If they do get through today, which is still a chance right now, they could get through to next week's semi-final. They won't want to be turning over ball like that.
There is a chance, but it's fading fast. Bristol have opened up a much more handsome gap over Harlequins. They've just scored again to go 43-26 in front. 14 minutes to go there. Sale 4 points ahead in Devon with 13 to play. 23 points to 19. Gloucester 10 points to the good at home to Northampton. And even if Sale or Bristol drop points, Sarries need Gloucester to choke late at home to the Saints if they're to leapfrog them, given the points differential involved between those teams in 5th and 6th place. So at the moment, Saracens still agonisingly outside the playoff berths. McConaughey knocks it wide. George Timmins on his debut. Not just a Premiership debut, but a senior debut, full stop, for the 20s man. McConaughey back inside to Scröder. Needs some help. The extra roll bought him some time, but Gonzalez was never going to miss that steal.
He's going to be causing problems in a few weeks for England. Playing for Argentina. It's a great turnover back from Bath.
It is George Timmins, England under-20s international. One of 6 Bath players involved in Mark Mapletoft's Six Nations campaign. Them and Sale providing the bulk of the under-20s contingent. And it's not just the big name signings that Bath have made, the Finn Russells and Santi Carreras for next year. Henry Arundel, of course, coming. Chris Harris announced this week as injury cover for Ollie Lawrence. It's the way, Chris, that they have brought through academy players. They've identified young talent and given it game time, not just in matches like this where there's little at stake for them, but the likes of Kieran Donoghue breaking through this season, young forwards like Kepu Tuipulotu. The way that Johan van Graan has assembled this squad, not just with the money from Bruce Craig, is hugely impressive.
Yeah, and it's always, as a young player, obviously better to be in a winning environment when everyone's positive and pushing forward every week and winning, see what works and what doesn't work. So to be in a good, positive, winning environment is perfect for a young player. And when you're winning games, it just enables coaches or people around to be a bit more comfortable and a bit more allowing and offering more time to younger players as opposed to being stressed and worried about what's going on weekend. They've got such a strong squad, they're able to afford more time to the youngsters.
Ticking towards the final 10 minutes of the match. Bath looking to land a few shots on the Juggernaut's body here. Tuipulotu has it at the back. Ezekwe spat out by Kieran Verdon. And Bath, having been stopped once, are determined not to be halted again. Eventually driven back, Gonzalez got onto it, and Gonzalez will gum up that possession. We see a lot of Juan Martin Gonzalez marauding around with ball tucked under an arm, but in the more conventional roles of the back row, in the maul defence and the ruck warfare, he's so effective too.
Yeah, he really can do it all. He's fast, rangy, offload, he can play in the wide channels, gets his head over the ball, no problem. He's going to be a problem for England and Argentina in the summer, especially the emotion they bring and how good of a team they've been recently. You know, I even went out and go back to when I was playing Argentina, were nowhere near the force what they are now. It's a hard place to go and get wins, and a lot of that is down to the players that they have, especially the back row. They've always got such a difficult, physical, hard back row that England are going to have to find their way around. It just stops any sort of fast ball getting any flow of into your attack and how you want to go about the game. The Argentinian back row can make that difficult.
Neil Leroux, former South African under-20s international, is on at scrum half for Louis Scröder. Junior Bok replacing Springbok. Came over to Bath on a bit of injury rehab in the last season, then signed a one-year deal. You can see Bristol there pulling away from Harlequins, and Sale crucially opening up that 2-score lead to let Mancunian lungs breathe a little easier down in Devon. Gloucester doing what they can, doing what they must against Northampton, but at the moment it's all in vain, as it is here for Saracens, unless there's a remarkable return in Devon or at Ashton Gate. The top 4 will remain as it was at the start of play. Bath at the summit, Leicester taking second spot, Sale in third, and Bristol in fourth.
Up and round from the far tighter. Tighter, up and round.
Saracens have used all their replacements. Bath now bring on their final reinforcement. Mackenzie Graham with the long straggly hair, wearing jersey 19. Left ear picture, there he is. That here used to be a lot longer, by the way. Then he got a scholarship at Beach and Cliff, Bath's partnership school in the West Country, and their rule for young fellas is collar length hair, so the locks had to be pruned a little bit. Still pretty impressive. Here's Hennessy and Ofaya. What has he got up his sleeve this time? Oh, he's got some puggy. Ofaya burning past a couple. LaRue caught at the base. Sarri's in at the side. Timmins thundering home. Always held up. No debut try for George Timmins, but Neil LaRue was impeded, and Bath still have the penalty.
13.
Bath are asking for that to be checked, but George Timmins not protesting too much.
I think he needs to have the ball in the other hand as he went through into the contact. He needs to try and move it to his left hand to give himself some space. It was a great turnover from stopping the try there from Shagan. How he got under the ball, I do not know. Good bit of power though as well from a fire at the touchline.
This Maul's on roller skates. Tuipulotu creeping forwards and plunging over. And how's that for a moment? This behemoth Saracens pack splintered.
Really far too easy there for Bath, but Tuipulotu could be one for the future. Let's hope so. Gets also his first try. He's a fire break up the touchline. Just drawing numbers in. See, it took 3 players to solve that problem. Here, get the ball in the left hand for any young player, and he would have got that down. But ultimately it came to nothing. Tuipulotu getting his first try. Not on debut. We've seen him a few times this season off the bench.
15.
We've also seen him, he's got a hell of a highlight reel as a youngster, coming through for the England under-20s this year.
Bailey's kick low but successful, and Bath's third try converted.
Saracens 36, Bath 19. Let's make some noise! Come on, Sarries!
Last 6 minutes of the season for Saracens. Gloucester still 10 points to the good. Sale leading by 11. Bristol by 19. No change to the top 4. And it looks very much like staying that way as we approach the dying embers of all 5 matches across England this afternoon.
Yeah, use it, please.
Here comes Saracens. Bracken to Tompkins. Oh, he's thrown it straight to Hennessy, who will gallop all the way home. One of Bath's young hotshots, picking pockets, taking names, and reading plays from experienced internationals. The kids down in the West Country are all right. And Bath, the baby-faced boys of Bath, have a bonus point at the StoneX.
Such a good read from Hennessy. Look how quick he is off the line. It's telegraphed from Tompkins, but I don't think he expect the line speed outside him. It's just a great read and a great finish from the youngster. Getting high on the outside, you've got to get in the passing lane, got to take a chance. It's game on here, 4 minutes to go. 10 points in it. We didn't thought that about 15 minutes ago, did we, Jimmy?
I don't think we're doing these young Bath players any disservices by saying that the predictions pre-match from pretty much any observer was for a handsome Saracens win, a one-sided match, and yes, the narrative and the flow of play has lived up to that, but the scoreline right now certainly isn't. 10-point game, 4 minutes to play. Ofaya loses it. It has gone forwards. George Selwood, the near-side assistant referee, identifying that. If that had gone to hand, Austin Emmons had 2 men inside him, and that would have made things very interesting.
Yeah, it's unlucky. I like the endeavour, and it's good set piece, but the skill, just the pass just dropped behind a fire, makes it really hard. When you're under pressure trying to get the hands in and away, you can't have a pass that's behind you. It takes any time you've got away from you. It's unfortunate because there's half a chance on the outside. No, all of a sudden Bath are the one trying to speed the game up. Saracens are trying to slow it down.
Confirmation of the latest scores at the bottom of your screen. Nothing new to tell you about in terms of scores that would change the complexion of the table, change the makeup of our Gallagher Premiership semi-finals next Friday and Saturday. Saracens looking to finish this one off a bit more emphatically. Bracken caught. Tompkins and Maui. Another knock-on, stemming, stymieing Saracens' momentum. For all they've run in 6 tries today, the inaccuracies that have just niggled away at them this season have once again plagued them. Again, apologies for any foul language you might have picked up over the referee's microphone. 2 minutes left. Bath need to score twice for the shock of all shocks. They're not going to force the envelope from inside their own 22. LaRue's contestable kick. Earl goes back. Emmons wins the tap, and Hennessy gets onto it. LaRue. Tuipulotu. LaRue, Bailey screaming for it. Richards, the captain, slips it into Stadden. Good angle from the young flanker. Oh, how's that for a steal? Tompkins, outrageous. Bracken for Burke. Thumped by Timmins.
You're not on your feet, 16. You're not on your feet. Ball's here. So knock on first, but then you can't play it on the floor. You can't play on the floor afterwards.
Sunshine Stadium, pleased to say that today's attendance was sold out. Thank you so much to everyone who's turned up this wonderful day.
Seen this a few times today, Chris. Nick Tompkins getting his hands in. That is his super strength, isn't it? He played outside him for several years here. He's so combative in that jackal position.
Yeah, you've almost got to expect it to happen and be looking what's the next play before he gets to the ruck. I think sometimes players are on the back foot all the time when he's surprised, when he's got the turnover. You shouldn't be surprised by it and be ready to go for what's next, into the gap or into the space or into the backfield. You've got to expect him to get the turnover and play off the back of it. Don't be waiting once he's got it, because the chance is gone.
Last play for Bath to try and take another losing bonus point back up the road with them. Hennessy dribbling it down the touchline. Daly whacks it back. The full-time gong has sounded, and one of the 7 Premiership debutants, Jack Woods, ends his first Gallagher Premiership with a little error, but it will be a day he will savour forever, and a day that so many of these Bath men will remember, will cherish, and will reflect on with a huge degree of pride. It is Saracens' day, but it's not going to be enough. Results elsewhere going against them. They needed Bristol to drop points, Sale to drop points, Gloucester to drop points. None of their rivals are obliging. And Alex Good's long, illustrious and legendary Saracens career ends at 402 matches. Incredible. Just incredible. Alex Good's days are done. Saracens' season is done. They've beaten Bath by 36 points to 26.